Hello again, this is Sam Medina here at One Accord Fellowship in Lubbock, Texas. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed the series that we've been sharing concerning Psalm 26. As someone has said, and specifically Dr. Charles Swindoll, I read where he said that this psalm could best be described as how to do right when you've been done wrong. And so how right he is. He really captured this song. And the last several weeks we've been talking about that. And why do we do that? Well, because it's something that's so prevalent in our society. You know, people will always do wrong. And they will do wrong to other people. And the question is, how do we handle that? I think all of us have been done wrong. So far in our study, we've covered basically 5 areas. We've talked about how King David was so open with God. He went and said, God, I'm open with you. You know I'm coming to you for help because I've been wronged. But I want to be open to you. Search my heart, examine me. And then he said, and God, he also said, and we've examined this, how God's love and mercy was always before him. That's why he knew he could come to God, and that's why he knew that God would listen. And then he goes on and he talks about how he didn't want to get into the idea that some people have that you have to get even immediately. And he says, no, I don't want to do that, God. I refuse to the temptation to get even. And then as we read, and by then we're getting down to verse 6 and 7, and he's talking about how he will be patient. And he says, you know, God, I can choose to go out and get even, or I can choose to be patient. And then finally he talks about how he was going to have maintain, of course, a positive attitude. And not only that, but he was going to be so positive that he was going to maintain his public worship of God. Not only was he going to maintain his public worship of God in the temple, he wanted to be there. How he desired to be in God's house. Something that I worry about today. I say worry, I'm concerned with, because many people don't see the need to be in public worship anymore. To them, church attendance has become irrelevant. What a grave, grave mistake that is. Those of us that still attend public worship, those of us that still sing along with the praise and worship team, those of us that still listen to God's word as it's preached and it's developed in sermons, and as we learn together, it just draws us closer to God. Some people will say, well, I can do it from home. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just telling you that I think you're missing out. There's something about corporate public worship that just touches your soul. It's just like people coming together. It's like you're almost voting and saying, America, I believe that coming together with other Christians at the same time to sing and in unison and to come together and listen and praise and worship together, that's where my vote is. I think it's important. And I hope that you'll attend a church. If you don't have a church, if you don't have a home church, let me invite you to come and try us. Come to One Accord Fellowship here in Lubbock, Texas. We'd love to have you come and visit with us. Now, I want us to finish this psalm, the last 3 verses, beginning with verse 9. In verse 9, he's saying something pretty interesting. He's saying, do not gather my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloodthirsty men. And then he follows it up in 10. It says, in whose hands is a sinister scheme, and whose right hand is full of bribes. Now, what is he saying there? What he's saying is, you know what, God, please help me not to fall in with those that not only are going to get even. Earlier in our study, we talked about those that would invite us and try to get us to get even. Here, he's saying, I'm talking about those people that go out and get even. and they'll stop at nothing to get even. That is, they will come back with a vengeance. You know people like that. You know people that if they believe they've been wronged, will go out of their way to harm and hurt others. Here he says, God, please guard my soul. That is, that which moves me the deepest, my soul. Guard me there, so I don't go with sinners like that. Which sinners? Those that are bloodthirsty. People that would they'll resort all the way to blood. That is, harm someone physically even. Or maybe even kill somebody. Why? Well, he had it coming. What are you talking about? He had it coming. You've been wronged? Well, go to God. He says that all vengeance is his, not yours. And so David is saying, God, keep me from people like that. Keep my soul. I don't even want to be around them because I don't want to be tempted that way. Previously, he says, I don't want to listen to those that are telling me to get even. Now he's saying, I don't want to be around those that do get even. Those that do these horrible things. And look at this. Not only are they resort down to people that are bloodthirsty men, it says, in whose hands is a sinister scheme. He's saying they're always scheming. They're looking for that occasion. They're looking for that way. They live. They thrive. I say they thrive. They don't thrive. They've got a life full of anxiety, ulcer-causing anxiety, joy-robbing anxiety. Because all they want to do, they're scheming. And not only are they scheming, they want to get others involved. And they will stop at no end. They will use all means to do what? Look, it says here, in whose hands is a sinister scheme. They're always scheming. And whose right hand is full of bribes. What's he talking about? You know people that will buy other people. Oh, they'll invite them to go do certain things. They'll pay for this. They'll pay for that. And it's a certain bribe. In a way, it's a bribe. In which way? I want you on my side. I'm going to buy you so that you can join me in hurting someone else. Just the fact that you used to be their friends, but you're now my friend. You see, it's kind of a bribe, isn't it? We're bringing people in to be on our side so we can together hurt that other person, so we can talk about that other person. Here, it's not only talking, it's action. It's people that are getting even. They're bribing others in a very sinister way. They've got this scheme that they're working just to get even. What a sad life that is. What a horrible way to live. Well, you don't know what they did to me. No. But do you think you're the only one that has ever suffered? A friend that betrayed you? A spouse that wronged you? Do you think you're the only one that had a job that you lost because of somebody else's fault? Do you think you're the only one that has ever been harmed? You're not. You're not. And God cares for you. You have a choice. Look what King David decided to do. And I pray as we finish this study on the book of Psalms that that's what you will decide. Look at this next verse. And he uses a very emphatic term in Hebrew. Here he says, but as for me. When he says, but as for me, in Hebrew, it's a very emphatic way of saying, but me, yes, me, but as for me, he's saying, I know that this is what I'm going to do. What is it? But as for me, I will walk in my integrity. What does that mean? He says, you know what? They can do whatever they want to. I'm not going to do that. I am going to be morally right. I'm going to be right-minded. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to proceed. I'm not going to lower myself to the person's standard that wronged me. They were the ones that didn't walk in integrity. They were the ones who did wrong. They were the ones who lied about me. They were the ones who harmed me. I refuse to lower myself to that standard. I will walk in my integrity, and I encourage you, however you've been wronged, walk in your integrity. Walk right-mindedly. Walk in fairness. Walk morally right. Walk right-minded. do the right thing here. The right thing isn't get even. The right thing is say, God, help me. It's in your hands. Look at what he says. But as for me, I will walk in my integrity. Then he appeals to God. He says, redeem me and be merciful to me. He has two things. He says, God, rescue me. God, deliver me. Redeem is to rescue, to deliver. And he says, God, you do it. God, rescue me. Deliver me. Don't let me be like others that want to get even. I want to rest in you. And does he believe it? Of course he believes it. Look at how he finishes. He says, redeem me and be merciful to me. My foot stands in an even place. In the congregations, I will bless the Lord. Interesting word there, in a level place. In a level place, the Greek word there is mishari. And not Greek, but Hebrew, is mishari. And then that comes from another verb that basically means this. It means to stand in a straight and level place with a viewpoint where you can see a far, far distance and you can see everything. And what he's saying is, King David is saying, God, put me in that place. As for me, where I can see things from your viewpoint, where I can see how your hand is working, where I can depend on what you are doing. And God, because I can see things from your viewpoint and I can see things in the way that you're handling things, God, what I will do then is this. In the congregations, I will bless the Lord. In the what? That means more than one person. When he's with others, he's going to join those people, not those that want to get even, not the bloodthirsty schemers, but the congregation, those that will bless the Lord. I tell you what, if you've been wronged, what you can do right is get more active in that congregation, more blessing of God, more waiting on God, more trusting of God, and more letting things go and put them at his feet, let him handle it, and you just sit back and you be stable, where you won't slip, you won't be teetering, you won't be falling, you're on that level ground, and God will take care of everything else. God bless you.